Business is not simple. It is an unceasing process of effort and exertion to cope with fluctuations and risks, helping the business achieve certain results. During the business process, there will certainly be times when you feel tired, pessimistic, lose direction, and lose your willpower to continue. At such times, do not be quick to discourage. Think of business stories and successes to gain more motivation for yourself. In today's article, Unica will share some business stories with you. These stories may change the feelings of depression you are experiencing and help you draw many useful lessons. Let's explore them now. Story 1. The Blind Beggar. There was a blind man living in the middle of a bustling, busy city. Every day he earned his living with just a single line of text: "I am blind, please help." He received some sharing, but in reality that amount of money was too little. There were even days when it was only enough to buy a loaf of bread. One day, a girl walked by and saw the old blind man with his empty cup. She turned back. She immediately wrote something on the back of his board, placed it down, and left. From then on, he received more money and more sharing. The next day, the girl returned. The old man touched her shoes and recognized her. He asked, "What did you write?" The girl replied, "I wrote the same thing, just different words." The girl had written, "Today is a beautiful day and I cannot see it." Lesson learned. Sometimes, just by choosing the appropriate advertising language, you can connect with and change the behavior of your customers. Story 2. The Story at a General Store. This is a story about a guy who was newly recruited to sell for a store. When his first working day ended, the boss approached and asked, "How many customers did you sell to today?" "Just one person," the new salesman replied. "What? Only one person?" The boss exclaimed in irritation. "Most of my employees sell to at least 20 or 30 people a day. So what was the total amount collected?" "Yes, sir. Approximately 100,000 USD. 100,000 USD? The boss cheered joyfully. "How could you sell so much to just one person?" The new salesman recounted. "When that man came in, I sold him a small fish hook. Then I advised him to buy a medium-sized hook and a large-sized hook. After he finished buying the hooks, I advised him to buy more fishing lines, small, medium, and large types, to catch different types of fish. I asked him where he was going fishing. He replied that he was going fishing at the coast. I immediately advised him to buy a motorboat and sold him a modern boat with 2 engines. After buying the boat, he said that his car was too small to carry the boat. So I took him to the car department and sold him a truck to carry the boat to the sea." After listening, the boss was extremely satisfied with his new employee. He said in an admiring tone, "So you persuaded and sold him all those things, while initially he only intended to buy a fish hook. You are truly a great salesman." "No, actually not quite," the salesman explained. "At first he only came in to buy some cold medicine for his wife. But I told him, 'Since your wife has the flu this week, what are you staying home for? I suggest you go fishing.' Lesson learned. Sell what the customer needs, not what you produce. Therefore, knowing what the customer wants is a prerequisite to hitting the right psychology and persuading them. Story 3. The Shoe Business. The story tells of 2 competing shoe manufacturing companies that sent their employees to Africa to survey the market and look for opportunities to expand their business there. At the first company, after carefully examining the situation, the employee reported back to his company, "The people here only go barefoot. Therefore, if we develop our business here, it will be ineffective and cannot grow. Jizai, Jaskown." At the second company, the employee from the other company reported back to his factory, "We need to quickly develop our business here. This place is ideal for the shoe business because no one here has footwear to wear yet." In the end, after the second company established its entire market development plan in Africa, it achieved great success. Lesson learned. Every situation and case contains both advantages and difficulties. A good business person is someone who sees the advantages within the difficulties and knows how to capitalize on them.
Story 4. Wild geese caught in a net. It is the habit of wild geese to often gather by the lakeshore. Each time they stop to rest, the lead goose arranges for a night watchman goose. If someone approaches or there is a movement, the watchman goose immediately honks to signal the whole flock. The hunters in the area around the lake were familiar with this habit. Every night, they intentionally lit torches. Seeing the fire, the watchman goose honked, and the group of hunters then extinguished the fire. The frightened geese flew up, but when they saw no more movement, they returned to their old spot to rest. After many such occurrences, the flock thought the watchman goose was deceiving them and rushed in to peck that goose. At this point, the hunters held their torches and approached the flock. The watchman goose, fearing being pecked by the flock, did not dare to honk. Just like that, the entire flock, sleeping soundly, was captured by the group of hunters. Lesson learned: no matter what field of business you are in, you will always encounter difficult challenges. When competitors begin to probe, the business's warning system is established and takes effect. At that time, the business is ready to face them, but sees no reaction from the opponent. However, after many repeated probings, even the company itself gradually lowers its guard, allowing its competitors to win. Register for business courses on Unica to receive countless attractive offers. The courses help you build business relationships while also mastering how to use tools and apply AI into peak business practices to achieve high efficiency exactly as desired. The fifth story: The King and the Rock. Once upon a time, there was a very powerful and wealthy king who was also quite curious. This king had a large rock placed in the middle of a road. Then he hid nearby to observe and see who could remove such a large rock from the path. The first people to pass by were some wealthy merchants and courtiers. Instead of moving it, they chose to go around it and even loudly blamed the king for not maintaining the road's openness. None of them tried to move the rock. Finally, a farmer arrived, and he moved the rock away despite it requiring much effort. After moving the rock, the farmer was rewarded by the king with a great deal of gold and silver and received the king's respect. Lesson learned: in business and in life, there are things we cannot understand. Every obstacle and difficulty can be an opportunity for us to grow. Do not blame others. Try to solve the difficult problems you face, and eventually, you will achieve success. The sixth story: A business lesson on power. Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a king who, bored with court affairs and seeking entertainment, decided to buy a very intelligent monkey to keep as a pet. The monkey performed very well and was loved by the king. He took the monkey everywhere, had clothes made for it, and even gave it a sword. One cool afternoon, while the king was sleeping in the garden, a bee suddenly flew in and landed on his head. Wanting to drive the bee away, the monkey took the sword the king had given it and struck, resulting in the king's tragic death. Lesson learned: when you are a business owner starting a business, you should not grant power to those who only know how to perform tricks and lack real competence. Otherwise, you will suffer a bitter failure that you yourself could not have foreseen. The seventh story: The ice cream theory. Ice cream is a familiar food to everyone, but behind this familiar treat lies a very meaningful business lesson. Think about it. If you wanted to open an ice cream shop, would you decide to open it in the summer or the winter? For many people, the answer is quite simple. Selling ice cream must obviously be done in the summer because when the weather is hot, you will certainly sell more ice cream and earn greater revenue. However, some famous business experts argue that if you sell ice cream, you must sell it in the winter. Why is there such a paradox? According to business experts, a customer's decision to buy a product depends on factors such as quality, price, and affection for the brand. Therefore, businesses need to provide the best service experiences to customers. The same applies to selling ice cream. If you sell ice cream in the winter, the number of customers you serve will not be large, requiring you to improve your service quality to the highest level to achieve sales. And if you achieve good revenue in the winter, you certainly will not need to worry when competing in the summer. Business lesson learned: always remember that when you know how to go through difficulties, you will know how to survive and develop in the present and the future. Therefore, do not fear difficulties and always be ready to face them.